Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but spring has sprung. Spring is here. It's the green time. It is the green time of year, and the talk today is called 123 Green Light, and it's about springtime, and it's actually a takeoff on the kids' card game, Red Light, Green Light, 123. And if you ever remember playing Red Light, Green Light, 123, basically you get dealt a hand of cards, and you have to play a red light, and then a green light, and then a 123, and then another red light, and another green light, and another 123. So if you, as an adult, are sitting there thinking, that doesn't sound really challenging, it's for 5 and over. So it's the sort of thing that gets you started. You know, by the time, if you start out playing red light, green light, 123, by the time you're 19 or 20, you might be in a casino counting cards. Who knows? The idea behind the game and the spin on the game is that when we get to the end of the winter and spring starts, we are ready to get going. We are ready. 123 green light, and let's bring it on. Let's have some springtime. So at the spring equinox, which was actually the moment that springtime started, it was 5:24 in the afternoon, I believe on Monday, on the 20th, and that's on the East Coast. And I was in Mountain Standard Time, which is 3 hours back, so it was 2:24 in the afternoon. So I decided that I would go and climb Lookout Mountain. And if you're familiar at all with Phoenix, it's like completely flat desert, and then there are these huge rocky outcroppings of mountains in the middle of nowhere. And Lookout Mountain happens to be one of the closest ones to where I was staying with my cousin Linda. And so I made my way down there and climbed Lookout Mountain. And made it a point to be there and to find a place to be balanced when the equinox happened. And looking around, there had been tremendous amount of rain in Arizona lately. I mean, if you've heard the stories about the just the deluges of rain and snow and other precipitation they're having out on the West Coast, a bunch of that has made its way to Arizona. And as a result, the desert was completely filled with beautiful wildflowers. So it was really obvious that spring was springing, and really easy to see the beauty and the springtime happening there. As I was walking around the neighborhood here, taking Oliver for a walk this morning, I noticed that the forsythia bushes have turned yellow. So the forsythias at this time of year are absolutely beautiful. And it's really a trick. It's really a trick because the forsythias are beautiful for 2 weeks, and then they're weeds for 8 months, and then they go dormant, and then they turn into beautiful forsythia again for another 2 weeks. So if you like forsythia, get thyself outside in the next week or two to enjoy them, because they're going to turn into weeds and just threaten to take over everything real soon now. So we get to this point where the spring has sprung, and we're looking at the end of the winter time and what it is that what's next? What's going on for us next? 123 green light. What's the green light? What's that? What's the green flag mean? What am I getting started with right now? And the first question that comes to my mind is, am I done with winter? Was there stuff that I was planning to do in the winter time that I haven't either finished or started? Is there a book or 12 that I was planning to read while I was in the house, having an opportunity to curl up under a blanket and read those books? Are there any projects this would be something good to do when I can't be outdoors in the spring or the summer or the fall? I'll be stuck in the house, so I might as well get these wonderful projects done. Is there a class that I wanted to take? And we had the wonderful experience. We're doing the Beyond Limits class now. We had the practical prayer workshop yesterday, and the people who were at the workshop were completely blown away by how profound the experience was. Because what we do is we spend the first part of the afternoon going through the process of a practical prayer and getting ourselves to the point where we have a prayer and the 5 to 7 steps of the prayer are together. And then at the end, we anchor it with music. And we were completely honored to have Daniel Nahmad join us to do the music live for us. And it's always fun to have him do that because he kind of has an idea ahead of time of which songs he's going to sing, but he has this huge library, so he is able to basically call an audible. And all I do is say, and Daniel's going to sing another song, and it's absolutely perfect. So that was a learning opportunity, and it's kind of tied together with the end of the winter and the beginning of the spring. And just a quick reminder that the Practical Prayer for Real Results class is online. So if you didn't make it to the workshop and you don't want to wait till the next one, you can go onto the website and sign up and take it at your own pace. And the same interactive musical experience is in there with this one's with Amy Steinberg. But you can repeat it. You can do that one as often as you want to. 1, 2, 3, green light. What's your green light going to be? What is it that's starting? What's that new thing that's unfolding for you in springtime? And actually, springtime is the season of psych outs. And I found this chart yesterday, which I think describes it perfectly. So this is the 4 quarters of the year: fall, winter, summer, and then spring. But it's actually pre-spring 1, and then psychs you out because there's more winter. And then pre-spring 2, double psych, there's more winter. And, you fell for it again. You got to be kidding me. And then finally, right towards the end of spring, we actually get it to feel like springtime. So, and you know what I'm talking about. It's supposed to be wonderful, and it winds up being cloudy for a week, and maybe there's a sudden errant snowstorm in the middle of what's supposed to be spring. It gets cold. There's a cold snap. Why are we having a frost again in spring? The daffodils have come up, and they're going, What? What? Stop! We have tulips that are completely confused about what's going on because the end of the winter was so mild here that they thought they heard their cue, and they didn't. So now they're realizing they really can't go back into the ground. So what? So that's the season of psych. And what'll happen is we've got a little bit of that going on between now and when the feeling of spring really starts. The question is, what do you want to get done? Are there those projects that you're finishing up from wintertime? Are the ones that you're just getting started on, but you really want to pay attention to now that the active summer months are coming, like the diet and exercise programs you want to have to get your body into the condition that you want your body to be in? And I see some of you going, yeah, and some of you rolling your eyes, and yeah, because it's a both and. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to play? What are you going to plant? It's not just metaphorical that we are planting seeds in consciousness and growing new stuff. This is actually growing season where we get to do that in the garden or in the flower pot, or if we're out in the country on the farm. And we have the choice of what we're going to plant. What is the intention that we're setting for this next growing season? What do we want to see coming into our lives? Because we know that once we're clear about what we're planting, the answer is going to be yes. And as long as we're willing to do the work, and the work is prepping the garden and planting the seeds and watering, and then the willingness, if it's possible that there's a weed or two that come up, that we're going to pull the weeds and tend to the garden and allow whatever it is that we're planting to come along. That's the invitation. So what are we planting? What are we inviting? And by the way, does that feel fun? Does that feel like a frolic? Does that bring some pep to your step, a smile to your face, and some joy to your life? Or is that seeming like another chore? Is it seeming like a continuation of winter? That's the opportunity that we have. We have the opportunity to set an intention and invite in something new. To say, the season is going to be this, so let me do something. I was talking to Anna before the celebration, and she's got a bicycle. She's got herself a hybrid bicycle. She gets to ride around in the city and in the countryside, and it's good exercise, and it's fun. So what can you do that's good for you, that's fun to do, that's going to be uplifting? And by the way, it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. There are some people who hate riding a bicycle. There are other people who love riding a bicycle. There are some people who do not like to lead meditations, and other people who do or are willing to and do a wonderful job. I bring that up because as I was in Arizona, being 3 time zones away, I managed to request the practitioners to lead the morning and evening meditations, which they did. And it turned into a prayer work story. Because Carolyn was there for a bunch of them. Jenna led a couple. Jesus led a few. And then on Friday, as I'm getting onto an airplane, Carolyn had massive difficulties with her internet connection. And I was able to reach out to Jesus, and he was able to do the Friday evening meditation. So the pieces are all fitting in together. While I was in Arizona on, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, I got done with my lunchtime meeting, and I was in time to get onto the Zoom call. And for some reason that completely surpasses understanding, I had rented a Tesla. It turns out the Tesla is the cheapest car you can rent in Phoenix at this time of year. Don't know why that is, but there I was with a Tesla, and if you've ever been in one, they're completely super connected, fun cars. And one of the functions in the Tesla is Zoom. You can just join a Zoom meeting from the Tesla. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. So I wound up joining the Zoom meeting from the Tesla on the phone and let somebody else lead what was going on with that. But it's an opportunity for something new to come along, for a new experience to be unfolding and revealing itself. And whatever's going on, have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. Look for the coincidences. Look for the delightful opportunities. Because sometimes it's a seed that we've planted and we're really controlled. We're going to grow our garden in very straight rows with the plants spaced the way that they're going to be spaced. And sometimes it's about throwing wildflower seeds down and just seeing what comes up. Letting the luck of nature decide what's going to be happening. So last Sunday, Dr. Michelle Whittington did our talk. And she's in Phoenix as well, but she was at her house and I was staying with Linda. And then afterwards we went and got together with her because one of her students, Jeannie Sovereigns, has a Sunday morning church club, is what she calls it, that she does on a big red comfy couch. And so it's a chat kind of thing, and it's different than what we do. And one of those really, really fun things that happened is here I am coming in from 2,500 miles away and coming in from Linda's house. And it turns out that Jeannie works and manages the property right next to Linda's. So we were able to go over and just surprise visit on Monday, and the surprise was on us because she was at a different property. But we managed to get together on Tuesday. And it's one of those things where as you're open to it, as you're planting seeds without an expectation of what you're going to be growing, that something wonderful can happen. 1, 2, 3, green light. Do you need to know what is going to happen after the green light? Sometimes it's really nice. It's good to have a plan. It's good to have an intention or an understanding. And other times, if we just open ourselves up to the good and plant the seeds for good and joy and happy and fun, and then let go of our attachment to what comes up, because that process doesn't work. If you take the random seeds, without looking at the labels, and you plant them, and you get some cucumbers over here and some tomatoes over here, and you say, I really wish that I'd gotten string beans, then you've missed the point. The idea is to be in the flow, or to be specific and to be okay about whichever one you're going to do. To play the game, you get dealt a hand cards. And then red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, the first person to run out of cards wins. But everybody who's got the cards gets to play. So that's the invitation for you guys for this week, is to pray, to play, to frolic, to do something fun and enjoyable. And let yourself be filled with something absolutely spectacular, because you deserve it. You are wonderful. So it is.
Therefore, our treatment is to generate the belief and let it be done unto us. We don't have to do it. So as we turn inward and think of these things, let us realize them. Each one of us is a center in the consciousness of the mind of God. Each one of us is aware. Each one of us is in immediate contact with all the presence and all the power and all the law that there is here and now.